evening, and welcome to another episode of Booktalk. I'm your host, Liz Lord, and tonight's theme is science fiction. Our special guests tonight are a bugger, a shapeshifter, and Chewbacca. Well, actually, in a futuristic Earth where things have gone haywire, war has been waged against an alien life form known as the Buggers. In Orson Scott Card's book, Ender's Game, humans miraculously beat the Buggers in the first of the invasions, but the threat of another still looms. To help us learn more about Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, please welcome our first guest, a Bugger! Welcome, and thank you for coming so far away from home to tell your story. As you know, to prepare for this invasion, Earth has created a special battle school that recruits children with the best minds and trains them to be commanders ready to fight your species once more. This battle school thinks they've found potential in a 6-year-old boy named Ender Wiggin, a boy who's outcast by his parents and tormented by his peers. They think Ender could be the savior they've been waiting for, someone who could defeat the Buggers once and for all. Help us, Ender Wiggin! You're our only hope! After an intense fight with a bully at school, Ender is confronted by Colonel Graff of the battle school and recruited immediately. Ender leaves Earth behind and enters the battle school, thinking it's going to be a better life. Not. There he is outcast, he is humiliated, he is tormented and pushed by his superiors and his peers. But through all this torment, his mind becomes stronger, and he figures out ways to beat opposing teams in training, rising to the top of his class. And soon, at the tender age of 10 years old, he is promoted and sent to commander school, where he learns how to really fight the Buggers. With all that in mind, Mr. Bugger, do you have any thoughts? Okay, well, how do you feel about the fact that people are trying to destroy your race? Yeah, there's so many questions to be asked. What will happen to Earth? Will Ender be the hero and save us all? Will he see that we are worth it? And what about these Buggers? I mean, what does Earth really know about this highly intelligent alien life form? And what is all this doing to Ender? I mean, for God's sakes, he's 6 years old. Okay, 10. But anyways, does he have any true friends? Does he care? These answers and more can be found in Orson Scott Card's book, Ender's Game. On the street with Liz Lord. Excuse me. If you had the ability to save the world by pushing a button, would you?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Hey, excuse me. If you could push a button to save the world, would you?
Sure.
If you could save the planet by pushing a button, would you? No. Hey there! If you could save the planet by pushing a button, would you? What kind of question is that? If you had the ability to save the world by simply pushing a button, would you? Henry asked this question in the book We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. After his dad leaves his family, Henry Denton, aka Space Boy, mysteriously and randomly gets abducted by aliens which he so eloquently calls sluggers due to their slug-like form. They take him multiple times and keep leaving him naked in the oddest of places. Awkward! After losing his boyfriend a year earlier, Henry's whole life spirals out of control, and he ends up in a very dark place. And now, for reasons unknown, the sluggers have chosen to give him the opportunity of a lifetime. Henry must choose between life and death. Save the planet or let it all end with his pain and suffering with it. He has 144 days to decide, is Earth worth saving? The effects of his boyfriend committing suicide and of the random abductions by the sluggers has Henry questioning everything, and things just don't seem to be getting any better. He is in the midst of a fling with Marcus, a boy who makes fun of Henry and physically tortures him with his buddies, but then hounds him secretly to hook up after school or in the boys' bathroom. But then, just when Henry thinks he's finally had enough, just when he knows that he's really going to push that button, an attractive new and mysterious boy, Diego Vega, comes waltzing into his life and makes him feel things he hasn't felt in so long. Because of Diego, Henry's once confident decision that Earth should be destroyed is now in question. He never thought he would love again after the death of his boyfriend. But now, he finds himself falling for Diego hard. Is life worth living after all? Or would it be easier and kinder to end everyone's pain and suffering once and for all? Check out We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson to find out more. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. I just got news that Chewbacca will not be with us tonight due to technical difficulties with the Millennium Falcon. Chewie, may the Force be with you. Speaking of hard choices, what if you could change into any form you wanted, whenever you wanted? What would you want to be? Would you use it for good or for evil? Our next guest is going to answer a couple of those questions. Please welcome the supernatural, shape-shifting teen goddess extraordinaire, Nimona. Let's get straight into our graphic novel by Noelle Stevenson, Nimona. Nimona, as a young and impulsive teenage shapeshifter, what made you decide to team up with the kingdom's supervillain and mad scientist, Lord Ballister Blackheart, who obviously was hesitant about accepting your role as a sidekick at first? And would you say that you both have come to an understanding, dare I say, a sort of father-daughter type relationship?
Well, I decided to team up with Blackheart because he was so freaking cool. I had admired his work forever and always dreamed of working with him. I don't know what type of relationship we have. Honestly, I think that man hates me, like when I turn into a dragon and throw people across the room. But then he's always sad when I trick him into thinking that I'm dead, so I think secretly he likes me.
As your story progresses, Blackheart's reasons for becoming a villain in the kingdom are exposed. He and the kingdom's most famous hero, Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin, who were once best friends, now are worst enemies. To be honest, I would be the same way if my best friend cheated and cut off my arm in a jousting tournament.
Same.
Is it true, Nimona, that your bond with Blackheart made you want to protect him and help him destroy Goldenloin? That you helped him in his plan to take down the institution of law enforcement and heroics? After it was found out that they actually are not the heroes and protectors the kingdom thinks they are?
Yeah, it's true. Those guys suck. Destroying them will be my pleasure, if Blackheart ever lets me do it right.
I hear that Blackheart's by-the-book methods and morals often get in the way of his goal to take down the secretly villainous institution of law enforcement and heroics.
They so do, and they get in the way of my fun, too. He says I'm unpredictable and wild, but I just think he's too old-fashioned. Whatever.
Thank you, Nimona, for joining us today and answering some of our questions.
No problem. I figure all publicity is good publicity. I wonder if Blackheart's going to be cool with this. Well, see ya.
You can find more of that spunky little girl in Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. Well, that's all for this episode of Booktalk. I hope you enjoyed hearing about these exciting science fiction fantasy novels. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson, Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. They are waiting to be abducted by you at your local bookstore or library today. I'm Liz Lord signing off and saying, remember, neutron stars can spin at a rate of 600 rotations per second.